Hello everyone, Lily the Deck Harlot here. Welcome to my channel, and anyone who's returning, well, welcome back. And today I thought I would do the Tarot Tribe tag started by V at V11 Crystals, and I thought it would be a fun tag to join. So let's start. And first question is, how did you get into tarot or oracle? And I got into tarot as I was going through a divorce, and after several weeks of going to this specialized bookstore that specialized in self-help book, spirituality and religion book, I eventually found the section where they had tarot decks and tarot books. So that's how my journey started. And question number 2 is, are you drawn to oracle or tarot more? And to start off, I would have said tarot, but I've been studying tarot for a few decades now. And my inclination right now is actually I'm looking a lot at oracle decks, mainly because, well, they're a mystery to me, and it's something that I'd like to learn more of. Although no one included Lenormand here, but I do study Lenormand as well. So on to question number 3. If you could create your own deck, what would it be? I can't say at this point that I have any interest in creating my own deck, mainly because there are so many offerings right now that I'm not sure what I could contribute. However, I do like to point out that at one point there was this other TarotTuber that created her own oracle deck, I think using pictures and images in the public domain, and she created her own deck for personal use. So that's something that I might think about, because I actually quite like that idea, but it would be just for me. So question number 4 is, show us your first deck. And actually, after so long, I still have it, and it's the Hanson Robert deck. I do not have the box anymore, but that was the first deck I found, or I started using, basically because I was looking for, I hated the Rider-Waite at the time, and well, at this particular bookstore, all the books featured the Rider-Waite Smith, and this deck was the only deck that had a book sold separately that had these cards, that had the cards. So that's why I ended up buying this deck. And it was only like probably, I'm not sure, a couple months later that I noticed they had another tarot case where they had combination decks and books. So there you go. So this is my first deck. Question number 5. Show us your recent deck, oracle, tarot, or crystal. So the first oracle deck I have is, well, my most recent, and I haven't opened it yet, and it's the Animal Kin. And it was a deck that I was sort of looking at, but not sure if I wanted to get it, but eventually, like, a Hay House had a sale, and it was on it, so I decided to buy it then. And most recent tarot deck is the Saki Saki Tarot. And this is the one I've been using lately. And it's a quirky little deck. The images are quite interesting. A lot of it is abstract, actually. But the reason I got it is because it's been on my wish list for a long time, and I never took the plunge. And this winter, the creator was saying she was not reprinting the deck, and she only had a few copies left. So that's when I decided to buy it. And you know, so far so good. It's actually it's not a bad reader for me. And although it is a bit strange. And if anyone is part of the Study a Deck in 21 Days with Wasima on Facebook, This is the deck I'm using for the study we're doing right now, which is getting familiar with a strange deck. Question number 6. If you could share a tip with someone learning tarot for the first time, what would it be? And I would say get yourself a good book, but at some point, like Mary Greer says, put the books down and look at the pictures. This is something that I wish someone had told me when I started reading tarot, because I was obsessed with getting books and reading books. And it's only like many years later when I took a class that, tarot is all about reading what's the image in front of you, regardless of what the traditional meaning is. So this is what I would say to someone learning or just starting out. It's grab a deck, look at the pictures, make stories, or figure out what the picture is trying to tell you. And as an aside, for people who want to practice, actually forget the tarot books. Go and read art, look at pictures, get a picture book on art paintings, and figure out what the painting is telling you without reading the description, and what the creator was thinking about and what was their inspiration. And I mean, I think that's the best way to figure out what's going on with reading. So number 7, first TarotTuber I followed. I think, I'm not sure if they're around anyway, but the thing is, I remember watching Owl Moon 513. I always liked her videos. I used to listen, and I still do, but at the time it was called The Four Queens, which is Kellyanne Maddox, and she's no longer on YouTube. And it was Elise Morgan, I think her last name was. But anyway, the thing is her TarotTube name was Wild Moon Woman. And it's too bad that, when she decided to convert to Christianity, she did a adoring virtue thing. So basically. Number 8, what was life like before tarot or the holistic path for you? Where do you come from? And as I've mentioned before, when I discovered tarot, I was going through a divorce. It was a very painful time of my life. And it was also, I've later learned that it was also at a time of my Saturn return in my astrological chart. Although I don't really follow astrology, but that was something that was told to me and it made sense. And before that, I thought I could control everything. I thought I had my life set out in front of me. And, I had an agenda and I had a plan. And I mean, my divorce basically pulled the rug from under me. And basically, that's when you realize how your life is basically an illusion and what you make up in your mind. So anyway, so the thing is that it was it was a painful awakening, but I started learning more about spirituality and, trying to make sense of what happened to me and, and how to go forward from there. So, since then I've learned, I decided to learn, tarot, but I also started to learn about herbalism and Reiki and all kinds of healing modalities that, to become more healthy and live a more holistic life. So that's for question 8. Number 9 is favorite go-to spreads, your top 3. So my top 3 are the Celtic Cross. Yes, I do use the Celtic Cross. I know a lot of people poo-poo it. I think it's underrated, and not every Celtic Cross is equal. So there's lots of versions for it, but I learned one that works, and you have it gives you all kinds of information, so that's number 1. Number 2, I always like to do a body, mind, spirit spread. which is a 3-card spread. And number 3 is I have a yes/no spread that I like to use that uses the Celtic, sorry, not the Celtic cross, but the that uses the Wheel of Fortune tarot card to give you an answer. So that's what I like. So those are my top 3, and the top spreads I use a lot. Number 10 is most anticipated deck of 2020, and hands down, I'm waiting for the Shadowland Tarot by Monica Bordinski. Sorry, I'm butchering her name. Bordinski, who is a Toronto creator, so fellow Canadian, and I already have some of her other decks, her Lenormand decks, and I'm just looking forward to the tarot one that's coming out. I think it's coming out at the end of the month. And let's try that again. I didn't realize my phone was running out of room, so it cut off my other video. But anyway, let's start again. And question 11, what's in your tarot wish list? And right now my wish list has 49 decks. Half and half between mass market and half indie decks. But if I could say, if I should limit myself to the top 3, the first one is the Story Medicine card. It's on my wish list, but I'm not sure if I'll ever buy it because I think it's pretty expensive. And in Canadian dollars, whoa, you know. Number 2 is the Roots and Wings Oracle. I've been seeing a lot of people using it right now, and it interests me, so it's something I think I could use. And the number 3 is the Spacious Tarot. It's another one too that since it's come out, I've been seeing people using it. They seem to like it a lot, and it looks like a good reader. But anyway, those are the top 3 that I have on my wish list. And question number 12, what were your impressions or fears about tarot? I can't say that I had any, actually. Going to tarot readers, going to visit with psychic, is something that my family did. My parents both went, my dad and my mother, my aunts, so there was always somebody talking about going to see a psychic and getting a reading. So by the time I became an adult, and by the time I found, a tarot deck in a store, it wasn't really a mystery. Although I had never had or seen tarot cards until then. Like I had gone to tea leaf readings and palm readings and stuff like that. Yeah, and like I said, one of my aunts read playing cards. So, at the time, it was more a sense of excitement that I could learn something new and that I could do for myself. So. Question number 13. Would you like to start reading tarot? And I'm not sure I understand the question because I do read tarot. So I guess the answer to this is yes. I read tarot, and anyone who asks for a reading will get one. Have you gotten a reading from another reader? And that's question number 14. Now, when I was going through my divorce and I was learning tarot, I did go to a psychic fair and get a tarot reading for the first time. And I remember at the time it was quite expensive, and I'm not sure I got anything out of it. Now, it could be my fault because I didn't understand how to ask a question, from what I remember. But the thing is that it was a man, and he talked a mile a minute. I didn't know enough about cards to understand the symbols. I didn't recognize the cards either. Like, I wasn't that knowledgeable. And at the same time, like, he was giving me all kinds of information into the future that never panned out. So that was one. But subsequently, I have gone to tarot conferences where it's rare when you don't give or receive a reading as part of your learning experience. So I've actually quite enjoyed those experiences because it's always interesting to see what someone else will tell you about their cards they're getting. But I also find it's a great interaction, in the sense that because I do know the card, the reader might say something and I get my own impression, and she'll say something like that, and I'm like, oh yeah, I see that, but what do you think? I also see this. So it's a back and forth conversation that is quite enlightening. So yeah, so that's my experience, and I think in those instances it's always very positive. So on to the next question, which is number 15. What kind of vibes do you like to feel when getting a reading? And I'm not sure if that answers the question so well, but anyway, the thing is what I say is, when I get a reading, I expect something down to earth, practical, and information I can use. And yeah, it's like, I'm a Gemini. I mean, I want facts. I want straight and narrow, and don't give me new age mumbo jumbo. That doesn't mean anything. So this is basically what I want to walk away from a reading with. It's like, I want information I can use, information I can understand, and information I can apply to whatever situation that's going through or I'm asking about today. So that concludes it. I know there's another question, question 16, about tagging someone else, but I'm new around here. I don't have a lot of followers, and at the same time, I'm kind of shy of asking someone else. So bear with me, and I hope that's okay. So I wish you a good day, and until next time.